Alex is the host of Reset Podcast, who always had a passion for producing content that makes people laugh and forget about their troubles. And Alex joins us now. What time is it for you right now?
It is 6 a.m.
So, in the first episode of your podcast, you were surprised that somebody told you they wake up at 6 a.m. every day. So, what are you doing up at this time?
I was getting ready for the podcast. I had a few things I had to do around 2 a.m., so I said, why sleep? So, I'm up.
You're still up, so you haven't actually been to sleep yet.
No, I will be going to bed after this, for sure.
So what was it that inspired you to start the Reset Podcast? And how did you actually come up with the idea for the show?
A lot of me and my friends in high school always just talked about random things and always found it, like, people around us always found it interesting. And we decided one day, we just actually set our minds to it and said, we're going to create a podcast, and, like, that will be, like, to share it with other people so they can enjoy the interesting topics we talk about.
And is there a plan, or are there set topics, or is it kind of a free-flowing conversation?
So we do have, like, before we'll discuss on what 4 main points we want to cover in the podcast, and then, like, in deeper sub-points of what we want to talk about within those topics. But then it's mainly free throw for, like, how we talk and, like, what jokes we bring up and stuff like that, just to make it entertaining.
So what made you want to call it the Reset Podcast?
My co-host came up with that idea. It's basically resetting you to think back on what has already happened in the world and what transpired, basically.
Is there a message, I suppose, that you'd want listeners to take away from the podcast?
Mainly that no matter what's going on in your life at that point, it's a place where you can just sit, listen, and laugh and forget about all of it. Because that's what I always looked for content. So I feel like I'd like to give back to the people that, need it as well.
And how do you do that? Because some of the issues you talk about are quite relevant. So is it hard for people to forget what's going on in the world if sometimes you're talking about it?
I feel like we cover it in a sort of joking manner so that it's, like, not actually feeling like it's real. Like, it's a moment where we can realize what's going on, or not even really bad things, just everyday things, and really just laugh at it and say we don't really need to worry about these things as much as we do.
Yeah. So when did you yourself realize that you wanted to create content in general?
I always wanted to growing up, but I think it was after I came back for my first semester of college. I realized that I wasn't really enjoying it as much. The degree I was taking wasn't really for me. I didn't know if I wanted to spend all this money for this stuff. So I took the rest of the year off, so around 6 to 8 months until September. And I've just been going at it on my actual main channel and on the podcast, which we're going to have a few episodes out in the next week or two as well.
Have you had any challenges along the way being a young content creator?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Starting a new YouTube channel is probably one of the most stressful and tiring things to do, because you're doing all this work behind the scenes, editing, thinking of ideas, creating scripts, planning, getting it out there, promoting, and all this stuff just for a few views here and there, which is very frustrating. And that's why I see a lot of young people quit and not pursue it, because they think they can just go overnight. But I mean, I've been doing my main channel for 3 months now, and the podcast has only been going on a month, and we're still thinking of great ideas. We have stuff filmed already in the making to get back out there, and we're just ready to keep going. And if it doesn't work out, then at least we say that we took a shot at it.
And all this behind the scenes stuff, like the script writing and a lot of editing, did you do that to the same extent you do now when you started out? Or have you actually become more busy because you've wanted the videos to be more professional and more prepared now?
Oh, definitely. The first podcast, I'm pretty sure we just cut out the first 2 minutes of it and then released it. And then the second one, we cut out more things and made it, like, a little bit more, how would I say it, audio and visually better.
Yeah.
And now, like, we haven't released the podcast in, like, 2 weeks, I think, since our last one, because we're actually really taking in the quality of it more carefully. So, I have gotten a lot busier, because it's a lot more like detail. Like we're worrying about
Yeah.
the little things more than we did before.
And despite that, does the podcast require less preparation than another video would? Because you may have talking points, but you don't have to do script writing as such.
Right. Yeah. So with that part of it, it's a lot easier because it's more free, like speech type stuff. So like we can create it on the spot. Like I'd say about 70% of it we can.
Yeah.
So it makes it a lot easier than a video that I have to go through and like basically want to write down every word I want to say for the intro, for the outro, stuff like that. So it definitely is a lot easier, but also doing it 2 channels, even if it's only 70% or 30% like script writing, it's a lot when you're trying to do 2 channels and then also helping your friends with their channels. So
Yeah.
it's a lot on my day, and I'm normally up 16 hours a day trying to do this.
Wow. You mentioned that a lot of young content creators give up early on because they're doing a lot of work for very little reward. Is that just the case for young content creators, or could it happen to anybody that's new to the scene?
I think anyone new to the scene. I think in reality, I think a lot of like older people will have more of a drive to it or more of a give, and I feel like younger people nowadays will just give up. But I feel like a lot, like mainly the people who start out will give up 99%, but I feel like the people that do stick around are the young ones that really want it, or the old ones that like really want it as well. So you just basically have to really, really want it to get anywhere. But even then, it's a lot about luck, honestly.
And it doesn't happen overnight. Maybe people are coming at it from the wrong expectations. They think that they're going to make a video and it's going to go viral, whereas that happens in a minority of the time.
Right. It happens a very slim chance. But I mean, you just have to look at the views, the low amount of views you get, and realize that it can't get worse from here. So you got to keep going.
That's true. The only way is up. Do you have a regular schedule for this podcast? Because it's been going a month and you've had 2 episodes. So have you figured out a schedule yet, as in releasing them weekly or bi-weekly?
So for now, we want to release, as of right now, we want to release 1 video a week because we both also have other channels that we have to upload on, and we upload on those twice or once to 2 times a week. So we want to get a good schedule going so people know when it's coming out. So we're thinking of a day now, but we're working on the next one that's going to come out sometime this coming week. And then after that point, it will be 1 episode each week. And then maybe as production gets better and maybe as we grow, we'll do 2-3 videos a week, stuff like that.
Well, what are your future plans? What episodes are coming up?
Hopefully by, I'd say, in the next year to have maybe a stable audience and stable enough that we can actually keep doing it and not have to worry about working side jobs, doing stuff like that. That would be the dream.
Yeah.
But we still have to put a lot of work ahead. And for future podcasts, we also want to let it up to the viewers of what they want to see us talk about. So if they want any ideas or topics they want our opinions on, like even controversial topics as well, they could put it down in the comments. We're open to really anything. But I think our next ones will be, I don't want to give away too much. The next one coming out will be a lot more about our personal lives and like what we have gone through as all individuals, and we'll bring on our friends as well, and basically talking about like what life has been like for us in Canada and like the effects even COVID has had and the government and stuff like that, and just so people around the world can see what we go through and maybe hear back from them.
Yeah. Well, where are we able to find Reset Podcast and also your main YouTube channel and everything that you'd want us to find? Even things that you wouldn't want us to find as well.
You can find Reset Podcast on YouTube. You can also find my main channel on YouTube as well, and you can also find me on Twitch. I do stream every single day. I'm pretty sure, later tonight I'm going to be on day 122 of streaming for a year straight.
Wow.
So I've also been doing that as well, streaming every single day for a year straight, and we're a third of the way there, so
yeah.
Hopefully we can keep going.
Yeah, that's quite a good idea, actually. Well, many thanks for coming on today. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you very much. Great talking to you too.